Loftier City Expats Club is a non-profit social organisation and our speakers are volunteers. The club as such assumes no responsibility or liability for the professional reputation of or the quality of services provided by the speaker today.
Hey, and Swaddy Carp. Well, this is Ren Alexander doing a virtual interview of Jacob Friis. How do you say your last name, Jacob?
Jacob Friis.
Friis. So, oh my God, you're actually here! I thought it was just I thought it was just a virtual presence. So he did not just a virtual excellent talk, but a really, really good talk that people. We just about had a record number of questions.
Yeah, there was a lot of questions, but I remember for the last time I was here, I didn't have enough time for questions. So this time I really wanted to make sure that I could answer all the questions. Yeah.
We've actually expanded the Q&A time here because the main complaint we were getting about the meetings is that they didn't run long enough.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. But I knew there was going to be a lot of questions, so I really wanted to make sure that there was time to answer them. Because my last talk, when I was here last time, I spoke for a very, very long time, so this time I wanted to change it a little bit.
Yeah, no, and it was a really punchy talk. And this is, if you ever get a chance to try virtual reality, like these virtual headsets, you have to do it. Because I tried one for the first time, it was a roller coaster, and I was turning around behind me and all that immersive experience, and I was getting vertigo. I had to sit down.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time that I tried it, I also got a little bit dizzy and I felt a little bit off balance because I wasn't used to basically having this so close to my eyes. And sometimes the light can be a little bit overwhelming, but as you try it a few more times, you get used to it as well, and the feeling of basically how to react when you're in a virtual reality.
Yeah, and I know that one of your passions is public speaking and training other people to public speak. And you found a way to form a business around that, incorporating virtual reality. So you want to explain us how that works and your magic tool here?
Well, basically I have a presentation technique training business, and one of the ways that we saw a potential with virtual reality was this 360 camera. And the way that this 360 camera works is that it films 180 degrees this side and that side, and then basically you stitch the two things together. And after you filmed the short video of the presentation, often we'll start off with the workshop starting with that way, so you can basically see, okay, where am I basically? And after we filmed you, we basically go through all the presentation techniques, how to structure a PowerPoint, how to speak, how to not to be so monotone with your voice and body language and all these different things. And then at the end of the workshop, basically we've edited this ready, so you can see it same day, about an hour later, then you can see yourself in virtual reality. And you put these glasses on here that we have, and we have a phone that we put in here, and then basically you can experience your presentation as if you were the audience as well. And then basically you're able to see it again and say, okay, what could I do better? For example, I could have filmed my talk today and say, okay, maybe I should have spoke a bit faster, a bit slower, or I should have been more varying in my voice and whatnot. So that's a great way to basically learn.
Because you can see the audience's reaction in real time.
Exactly. And let's say that you made a joke, then you could also basically see whether or not that joke actually worked. So for example, I actually know a comedian that actually has tried to use this as well. So
yeah, we also heard about it being used in real estate, where you really need a sort of 3D experience of what you're buying.
Exactly. I mean, you can basically go and you can experience what would it be like to be in this home? What would it be like to sit on the sofa? What would it be like to look at the view? So there's a lot of potential, and you can do the same thing with the cars as well. BMW and Mercedes, they actually have this possibility for you to put these glasses on so you can experience, okay, what does the car look like? What would it feel like sitting there without actually having to be there, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a brave new world. And what struck me somewhat bizarrely is that there was a lot of worry expressed about, perhaps possibly people under a certain age shouldn't be allowed to use them, and the kids will just get lost in the virtual world. But personally, I don't understand the difference between that and watching TV anyway. But
yeah, I mean, of course, every time that we have new technology, there's always this fear that comes. I mean, oh no, it's going to the end. It's the end of the world. But at the same time, I understand that people have fears, but it's because they often don't understand the technology as well, and because it's so new that we don't know how we're actually going to use it. So I think after a few years, people start to get used to it, and they're like, oh, okay, it's just virtual reality. So the more they know about it, the more comfortable they'll be with the technology.
And I thought one of the fascinating things is that people who are like in a nursing home or otherwise disabled and wouldn't be able to have a lot of experiences in life, suddenly they can put on experience virtual reality and go to places rather than just sitting in a nursing home vegging, they experience new things.
And there's actually been a study done on that where you can actually extend they have a higher quality of life because they can experience things where they've been before, they can try new things without actually having to go there, which also extends their life. You need to also remember that happiness has a lot, and also loneliness, where if you have this virtual reality, it can help you feel less lonely, but also experience new things. So basically, you extend your life expectancy.
Yes, and it's interesting. You never know what the technology is going to be. For instance, like social networking seemed to be like, oh, nobody thought that was going to be annoying, and yet it's become actually quite annoying. Right? It's like people overdose on it.
Yeah.
But I really suggest you get a chance to have a dose of this, not overdose on it, but because these things are really cheap and you can just slide a mobile phone in there.
Exactly. You don't even need to go out and buy a new phone. If you have basically iPhone 4, iPhone 5, or a Samsung, as long as it has this ability to basically, if you look at a video and you have this basically the motion sensor inside where you can flip it down, you can basically put it into the headset and you can watch any videos on YouTube if you want to watch some. But I do recommend the larger the screen of the phone, the better quality experience you're going to get, because if you just have a small little iPhone 4, it might not be the best quality. Exactly. If you have a phone like that, that's perfect.
Alrighty.
So you might need to upgrade your phone a little bit, because the smaller the screen is, then you also have to see that your eyes are going to be here. So the bigger the screen is, the better the experience is going to be.
Well, and these are actually really cheap.
They're very, very cheap. These ones, I think we ordered them for like 300 baht. So very, very, very cheap, you know. So you can use it for. And I'm
going to get on eBay and maybe order a copy of this.
You can. And I mean, the only thing that's actually expensive is your phone. But everybody has a phone, so there's no real expense really.
And you feel some of this has been pioneered by the porn industry?
Yes, I mean actually, the way that 360 and virtual reality started, of course, with Total Recall, as I mentioned, but porn companies are actually the front runners in this, because the more realistic a sex scene for you can be, the better. I mean, that's basically what their thinking is behind it.
And we've been concentrating on the visuals, but of course, virtual reality is going beyond the visual as well.
Yes, most definitely. I mean, right now the technology is still very visual, but now you're also starting to get these suits where it can vibrate and it can massage you in different areas. So you can see the potential in the porn industry, but also in every other industry.
But there's also the potential that you could have real-time interactions, social or sexual, with real people, but in different parts of the globe.
Exactly. I mean, it's just basically like the phone, and you're just putting it in front of your eyes, and you basically can bring people closer.
Well, on that note, I think we were lucky to get close to Jacob today, because he gave a great talk and a very punchy talk, and I really suggest, if you want to get a feeling for virtual reality, a real feeling about it, have a listen to the talk today. And thanks, Jacob, and we hope to get you back soon for another talk.
Thank you very much.
But meanwhile, it's a real goodbye from Ren Alexander and Pattaya City Expat Club.